Hello and welcome to Character Unlock episode 102. I'm back in the driving seat. John here. With me is my good buddy Brooker.
Hello, buddy.
And my good buddy Lee.
Hello.
And Phil.
Well, howdy ho.
How do I kick Phil from the call? Anyway, I'm back from my, what did you say it was, a Dilfing holiday?
Gilfing.
Gilfing holiday,
Yeah.
alright.
I also said you were on a tour of all the glory holes of the north.
Well, with social distancing in place, that's about all the action you can get is glory holes.
Well,
Yeah.
as long as it's perspex.
Exactly.
You did look particularly white-eyed when I seen you earlier.
What side of the glory hole were you on?
Both.
Mhm.
Same time. So anyway, how did you guys handle it without me?
Oh, it was a disaster.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to do that to us ever again.
well, that's what you get for replacing me with your brother.
True. Oh yeah, Colin came on. I forgot that. To be fair, it's been a long couple of weeks, man.
It has been a long couple of weeks. I can't believe it's been like 4 weeks and I've only played one game, but more on that later. So let's just crack straight through to news because lots of shit's happened. Like lots of shit has happened, which
Yeah,
is
man.
weird for us. So PlayStation decided to give themselves a little event where they showed off a load of, well, stuff of theirs. It was a. Did everyone watch it? Is the first thing.
Yes.
Bits of it.
That's not good enough, Phil. We expect
the
better.
good bits.
I'm going to say I watch all of it then.
Yeah.
It was
Like-
really just bits.
I think I watched all of it, but I honestly I think I glossed over it as well because it's since then. I think I'm pretty much guaranteed to get for the next Xbox at some point in the future. So I'm not on the PlayStation hype train. But then they announced their prices, and did we all see that coming?
Shock.
What you mean?
But it was
did we
definitely
all-
cheaper than I expected.
Nah. What I'm almost certain I said on our little WhatsApp thing, I was like, they'll match Xbox. They have to.
Oh yeah, I knew that they'd do that, but I was surprised with the Xbox price as well. To be fair, I thought they were both going to be 500 or
Well, yeah,
probably even 550.
I was expecting 500, I think, and actually, I think when they announced the Xbox price, I was expecting them to just say $499 and also £499 because dicks.
Yeah,
That's what I was expecting, and I was expecting the same out of Sony.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's kind of how you have to expect it now. Is almost everything comes across as a 1-for-1 in price. Nobody cares.
I'll never
about
forget the first time I went to buy an NFL jersey from the NFL store, and when I changed my country to United Kingdom, all it literally did was change the currency symbol at the beginning of the number. So it went from $160 to £160. I was like, you cunts.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good price though
yeah.
for both machines. To be fair, I was expecting to be spending 1,000 to 1,200 quid on kit back end of the year, and thankfully I'm now only going to spend about 900.
Yeah, that is a bonus.
Yeah, well, I mean, the weird thing is that those things are fucking powerful, and the 1 terabyte, NVMe memory sticks that they've got,
Yeah.
they're those things are like 150 quid plus at 1 terabyte, like on their own,
Yeah.
like, and that's not even like getting a good one. That's just like your bog standard, random company design one.
Yeah.
So
You can almost guarantee somewhere around January time we're going to start seeing a lot of op-eds and reports and things at how Sony and Microsoft are losing $150 for every console they sell.
yeah.
But that's always been the way. Hardware's always been a
Yeah.
loss leader for games.
Yeah, you have to sell your consoles cheap, and that's why you pay £70 per game on the PlayStation.
Yeah, so they haven't fucked around with that either, have they? So all the pre-orders for all the PS5 and I've not checked Xbox One, Xbox Series X. I'll be fair, but all the PS5 ones at least are all going in at £70, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Shit, what game was it? It was I saw it. People like spending ages whining and moaning about it because there was a game that was I want to say it might have been Assassin's Creed. It was like the PlayStation 5 edition, $70.
Yeah.
The Series X version was like $58
Fucking hell.
because it was just the same. It was just the Xbox One version
Yeah.
because it had a smart delivery. There
was a bit of a rumor going around today that was going to be on Game Pass on release as well, but I expect that was bullshit.
So Ubisoft are having a weird relationship with Microsoft coming around. So I don't think it's just rumor that it might be going to Game Pass day one. But to be fair, putting it on Game Pass day one does up their sales figures pretty nicely, even if it isn't typical like purchases, because they probably make a small amount of money from Microsoft per download. Because there's a lot of independent studios that, having since put their game onto Game Pass, and it's like the number of downloads has gone up by such a significant amount that they've actually made a small fortune out of it because they were just a shit studio to start with. Like, there was a tweet from the company that made the game Descenders, which is that downhill mountain biking game. They get 500,000 downloads per month.
That's a lot.
So that they're actually on like quite a lot of total downloads, where it's got to a point now where they've made so much money out of it that they don't need to worry about making another game, more or less ever, in comparison to what they were expecting.
Nice. Still not sure I'd play it if it went onto Game Pass. I mean, I'd be glad I didn't have to pay £70 for it, but still not sure I'd play it.
Well, I mean, if you're going to keep your One X, then it'd be worth.
Well,
you might as well not even bother because you could get it on Game Pass.
I'm going to have a PS5 hopefully and maybe a copy of Call of Duty Cold War. I'd probably be busy playing that.
I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work for like Cold War, because I think you can buy the cross-gen version for Cold War for like an extra £10 on the regular version. But I'm guessing if you just buy the straight-up PlayStation 5 version, it's £70.
Yeah, but this is what I was saying. So the point I was making was all of the PS5 games are just instantly, all the pre-orders have hit game and they're all just £70. I mean, maybe the cost is placeholder, but it does look like that's what the price is going to be. I don't buy that many games on release day anyway, and I it's even rarer that I buy one at full price. So I'm not that bothered. But I was fucking hell. I'm going to want at least one game with my PlayStation 5, and I'm going to be, if I want a cheap one, it's going to have to be Miles Morales because it's a expansion essentially, and that's going to be about £40.
Actually, just imagine this, Brooks. Right, you're going to imagine going to Game Store, you pick up your PlayStation 5 $70 Blu-ray, £70 Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You take it home, you put it in your disc tray. On that Blu-ray disc that you just spent £70 on is a 10 meg code file to download the 150 gig download off the internet.
I'm expecting nothing less from the entire next generation of consoles.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Like, they need to not. There's no point in having Blu-ray discs printed. Well, I suppose Blu-ray discs themselves aren't actually that expensive, but they could easily just put DVDs out.
Oof, £70 for a DVD.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it'd be funny if they, with the Xbox One in particular, or all the games that got smart deliveries, you pay the upscaled cost for the Xbox Series X version of the game, and then they just send you the Xbox One X version of the game. Say thanks for the extra 20 quid.
I do feel like there's going to be we've had a couple of games already in this generation where they've said that you can't buy this game if you don't have an internet connection to download it, because it's like almost none of it is on the disc. What was it? Fallout, I think. They put a disc out and it literally said on there, don't buy this if you don't have internet access, because you won't be able to play it.
Yeah, but Fallout was a live service game anyway, so
yeah,
buying it without internet would have been pointless. Well, buying it at all was pointless.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but there is going to be a point in this generation, I think, where they're going to be printed boxes and they're going to say there is no content on this disc. This is just essentially your DRM code.
Would you like to know the first company that does that?
EA?
It will be Nintendo.
Yeah.
Here's your box that you've just spent £65 on. There's a download code in it.
Well, they've been doing that for ages.
They already do that. I think there's a few different ones that already do it, but I don't think anyone's going to do it as a staple for a while.
No.
I know that. I think, to be quite honest with you, I'd be inclined to think that Nintendo as a whole with the Switch would probably be about the last one, because their cartridges are so sort of intrinsic to the console itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
whereas the disc
ones, hard copy, can they? If they
there's no digital only version of the Switch, is there? That, to my knowledge.
No.
So for me, I think that's probably the later one, whereas the Xbox and the PlayStation obviously have digital versions. So I imagine it most likely be, you can still buy a box. You can even buy this one if you've got the digital version, because there you go. It's just a code, which is disappointing in a way, because the reason why I buy hard copies is so that I've always got it, even when the servers stop selling it or when they remove all the shit from the disc. I've always got that game.
Yeah.
And I can always play the original as well without updates if I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? That's why people stick to physicals. Long way down the line when servers are off and machines are long discontinued, and you've still got your original Xbox and your copy of Need for Speed, whatever the fuck, you can still play it.
Yeah. Well, I think more for me, physical is, I don't forget to play physical games because I can stack them in front of the TV and I know what I've got left to play.
Yep.
Whereas I download games and they just fucking disappear off into the ether.
Yeah,
forget about them in minutes. And then I'll be looking through my games about 6 months later and go, shit, yeah, I bought that.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from completely.
Yeah, no, I've got a little pile of shame for my games in front of next to my TV, so I can see what games I've bought and got left to play. I don't like buying digital. I don't like buying digital first, anyway. I buy digital copies of games I already own, so I already have them there, like Hitman and The Last of Us. But I don't like.
So you can play them without changing the disc.
Yeah.
When you want to do your Hitman fix.
But things like Hitman, I pick it up and I play it for half an hour and I turn it off and go off and play something else. But you look at my Xbox library, my installed Xbox library. There's like 25 games on there, and I'm like, I'm not going to get to play any of these. And the only time I'm going to look
at to update them all.
Yeah. And the only time I'm going to look at any of them is when I go, which ones do I need to uninstall so I can download the latest fucking Call of Duty patch?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I very quickly got put off of digital games, but I'm not a fan. It's never going to be my first choice unless the games like when we bought Wolfenstein the other week, dirt cheap.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't mind, especially now that we're splitting cost for digital stuff. If we're not overly fussed about having the physical copy, that makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But for the most part, any game that I would want, or in fact, most games that I'm not even too fussed about, as long as that, in the first couple of months of release, it's much cheaper to get them on disc.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, obviously, PlayStation and Xbox do pretty good sales, as do Nintendo. So you can pick up pretty good price. But even still, you can still pick them up cheaper on physical if you wanted to.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I never quite understood that. I mean, second hand, yeah, but why first hand is it cheaper physical than digital?
Are you asking in real world, or are you asking why they charge so much when there's no actual disc printing
why?
and manufacturing.
Why? So I mean,
Because they can.
That's they charge the RRP,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
shops don't. Shops charge you based on supply and demand. So if they get X amount of copies in, they can flip them all for 40 quid instead, and get more people into buying more games. So
I'm a convert. I prefer digital most of the time, just because of the ease of it. Just being able to flip through and pick a different game rather than have to search for case or whatever and work out, what the hell I did with that game that Lee lent me and I've left under the rug or something like that. Makes life easy just to have a digital. But it pisses me off that I have to spend more money to not have a disc.
Yeah.
But you do get weird and wonderful sales through the digital stores, which, I mean, you could, even on the same side, everyone talks about how you could buy loads of games on PC and they're really cheap because you're buying them through Steam or Epic Game Store or whoever else you play, maybe. Whoever else decides to put a storefront out. They're not cheap on the PC in comparison. They're still like full price RRP if you buy them new. They just have semi-frequent sales just so that you go and buy their fucking product through that game store. If you could buy digital games, well, you can buy digital games through other means, marketplaces and all sorts, where you can buy them cheaper than the RRP because they've got a load of digital codes come through because of bundles packages. Some bundle packages are literally just, here is the console or here is a controller and here is a copy of the game. Sell both of them separately because there's no branding on the box to say that you have to sell them together. And you've just made a small fortune based on the fact that you can sell both separately.
I have a funny feeling that Phil's basically just admitted he's lost my copy of Deadpool on the Xbox One.
I mean, lost is a powerful word, Lee.
It's under a rug, apparently.
Misplaced.
I don't know of any rugs in Phil's house.
I didn't
That's
say
why
it was
he's
my
lost
house.
it.
You're assuming.
It's not his house. It was an IKEA.
yeah. Nice.
It's just under a rug in IKEA. So that was a good PlayStation section. Actually, I have one more thing on the price stuff for the PlayStation and for the Xbox that's going to tie in a bit with the digital physical copy. The digital version, or rather the cheap version of both consoles, is the digital only version, which kind of feels like they're marketing to the people who can't necessarily afford to buy the Big Daddy version, or some people are going to look at it and go, why would I spend an extra, 70 quid for the PlayStation disc version compared to the digital only? I can't remember what the pricing was. But it's an extra £200 to buy the disc version of the Xbox.
Yep.
Is it? The Series S is 250 quid.
I think it is.
There's a big
say it
difference
out loud,
between the
it sounds
machines, though,
different.
isn't there?
It does. I think it's 250.
That can't be right. I'm absolutely 100%.
Yeah, 250 quid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But the actual machine is a lot. It's not like the PlayStation version. The difference between the Series S and the Series X is huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is that. So the difference between the all digital PS5 and the disc PS5 is literally a drive, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everything inside is the same. Jeez,
Yeah.
I didn't even clock that it was 200 quid cheaper.
I'm pretty sure it's 250.
Yeah, it is
see, I'm
250. I just
looking
looked
at
at
it.
game.
Wow.
Fuck
But obviously
yeah.
they'll probably make that back in the long run. Plus, anybody that gets the digital only console, you're pretty much guaranteed to have as a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber.
Yeah, you've got a permanent Game Pass subscriber and or someone that spends extraordinary amounts of money on digital copies of games that aren't on Game Pass.
They're going to have to spend an extraordinary amount on digital copies of games because it must be really awkward for people working in like game stores, for people coming in and pre-ordering the digital only version of a console, because they're going to be looking at it going, we've literally got no more business from you right now. You're buying this, you're not coming back here ever again to buy something else.
Well, apart from what we spoke about earlier, where you can just buy everything, you can buy digital versions in the stores.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't be going back. Obviously, they won't be going back for trading.
No.
But
But
you
yeah,
know, new
they got
copies they should
shelves.
be
Yeah,
able
they've got
to do
shelves
that.
of digital
Yeah.
codes for these games, and that's I mean, those would be fine.
Yeah, but it's the trade-in stuff is where the game stores make their money.
Yeah.
Really. So how much money do you think that they're going to make on each one of those consoles to sell on?
Yeah.
Probably not that much. It's like so be it. They've sold. They might. Your local game store might be selling like 100 consoles on launch day, but they're probably not going to make that much money out of it.
Yeah, but games making an extra tenner on postage each time, isn't it?
Yeah,
You see that?
I did.
Well, you say they're making an extra tenner. That's probably going to barely cover off the cost it is to send it through, like guaranteed delivery on that day.
Yeah, but everyone
via-
else is sending free delivery.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's it,
And they,
isn't
and
it?
they
Everyone else
stuck
was
it in at the
providing.
last second in the checkout, didn't they?
I mean, the one for me was kind of funny because I picked up my Series X from Microsoft and they charged full price. And I find that kind of amusing because if the local stores who are obviously making a profit on selling it, because otherwise why would they bother?
Yeah.
And then Microsoft, sorry, they're
Are selling
obviously
it.
making an even bigger profit.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
that's how they cover off the fact that they have to make some kind of money off of it. So it's people like you are keeping Microsoft in business by giving them an extra, I don't know, 40 quid for the console that you bought because you bought from Microsoft instead of from Game.
Yeah.
So they got to keep £40 back instead of losing it to Game.
Well, the
or
government got
Amazon.
a big fat 75 quid as well in VAT. Fuck me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I thought I did manage to pick up my Series X and I did get it straight off the bat. I figured Microsoft would be the easiest one to pick it up on.
Because no one else would go there. Everyone else was trying to crash the Smiths Toys and Game websites.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just that made me think of it. It's just that Microsoft, you know, they've got all their cloud stuff and they've got fucking servers all over the planet. I thought, you know, they might hold up a little bit better than most sites.
Yeah.
And yeah, I managed to bag it straight away. But you could tell it were under some stress. I think it went down later in the day once people realised they couldn't get it from anywhere else. But following on from the PlayStation shit show, I honestly half expected the game sites to actually do something about it, but they didn't. It was just a fucking shit show again.
The problem is like, to put that extra resilience into their websites costs so much money.
Yeah.
When at the end of the day, they're going to sell out anyway. Doesn't necessarily need to happen in the first 2 hours of the day. It's just you know, it's just not worth it for them. It's frustrating, and the amount of abuse I got on Twitter as well. I was reading through some of it today, and it was, there's some cunts around, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
I couldn't buy my Sony's console for Christmas.
But they absolutely, you know, in reality, yeah, they should have put a bit of resilience in there, but they were never going to bother.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's not particularly expensive to spin up some extra, but it's not entirely on them for their website. It's whoever they buy their website supplier.
Yeah.
But the cost to reinforce it when you're not going to need that again until the next generation.
That's it.
By which time the technology's out of date anyway. It's just not worth it. You know, for you or the provider of your network.
It's a one-time addition to your infrastructure, and it costs so much money. I see it every year with Fright Fest. So the Fright Fest ticket site falls over every year, and it's not half the demand going for that than there are for fucking Xboxes. But because it's a small site, and every year they go, yeah, don't worry, we got this. We've put extra resilience in, and every year, a minute past 12, it falls over straight away. It's just there's so much money involved in doing it. It's just not worth it. People will bitch and moan, and they'll get over it. They'll get their Xboxes and be done with it. But Game will be losing money for a year on contracted internet services because of it. It's just not worth it for them.
But yeah, I mean the Silverstone website is sluggish at best all year round. Tickets go on sale for the Formula 1 at Silverstone, and that website just dies. Like, I'm pretty sure their server is like an old iMac, like the one that's like got the coloured back to it in CRT monitor style. I'm pretty sure that is their server for running their website. just in general. And
Yeah.
it's like Formula One tickets go on sale, and boom, that's it, dead. But it's once a year for them. It's not worth the upgrade, or I mean, it's once a generation for game to worry about it, possibly twice depending on what's going to happen in the future if they decide to release the PlayStation 5.5 and the Xbox Series X Pro, Elite, whatever they decide to call it.
They'll call it like the Xbox 4 or something like that, just confuse people.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
Well, I mean, there is the already rumored Xbox Series V, which is just going to be the X with that's digital only. But for what is it? Codename Edinburgh or something?
It was Edinburgh, they called it, because obviously they don't spell right.
Yeah, Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
So yeah, pre-orders are fucking all over the shop. There was another random company put them on sale today. Box, never heard of them before.
Did you buy
But
one?
they
Box have done a few bits and bobs.
but they shoved Xbox One X Series X's up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock today.
No. Nice.
And they sold out within 3 minutes. So I don't know how many units they got, but seeing as how quickly most websites have sold out, I'd imagine they're either not getting that many, or people are feral.
Yeah, I
Or
find it
both.
funny what Smiths did. Not Smiths, sorry. Simply, in that they didn't sell the Solus console. They only sold bundles. Dirty bastards.
Yeah. So I remember Game getting into a lot of shit for that. Do you remember when the Wii, you couldn't buy a Wii for love nor money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's a Wii, like a £250 console? And I could only buy mine when I bought my Wii. It was like a £350 bundle from Game with a bunch of games I didn't fucking want. That's the only way to get one. They got into
Well, that's 'cause
some
people
shit
bought-
over that.
Yeah, people
That's
only
how
bought
Phil
the
got
Wii
his.
for Wii Sport because of word of mouth of playing fucking sports games, bowling inside your own house, and tennis. No one was interested in any of the other fucking games that were on Wii because they were all shite. Well, actually, Red Steel was fantastic.
But I got Red Steel in the bundle actually.
Yeah.
But, because AO done the same. AO didn't sell out till later on in the day, but because they were selling bundles-ish, weren't they? Because they're selling the
Yeah.
Xbox with
Yeah.
a 3-month.
It was Xbox
Ultimate
with
code.
3 months
Although,
of
to be
Ultimate,
fair,
or
Phil
a
kept
controller,
trying and
or a
couldn't get
controller
anything.
and 3 months.
I couldn't get in. I tried Microsoft, I tried Game, I tried Smiths, all those sort of places, couldn't get in at all. And then, as you know, like Lee said, I found on Simply Games because their bundles were so big and no fucker wanted them. But
How
they
much
had a
did you
bundle
end up
with-
spending, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, they had Valhalla and Cyberpunk included, and I was like, well, I'm going to buy them anyway.
Yeah.
So I went for that.
Justifying
It
the
still-
extra
it
cost
was-
to yourself.
They had those. They had FIFA, which I was probably going to get free anyway, and then a few bits and pieces. But it cost me £620 or something like that.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. You
Wow.
see,
I already have Cyberpunk because I've already bought it.
well, this is it. I was chuffed I hadn't bought it because if I had, I wouldn't have been able to justify it to myself. Whereas because I wanted those two, I could kind of lie to myself and say it was still a good deal.
Yeah.
You
I've
get an extra
had
controller with that as well.
I don't think you do. I think you get a headset and a power pack or something
Oh, so
ridiculous
it's not
like that.
just
but
the two
no
games
spare
then, because that'd have
controller.
been arse
No,
rape.
there's a few other bits and pieces, but it's shit you don't really want.
I think it was just AO that was selling controllers, but I also don't know if they were selling like next gen controllers or current gen controllers. Just
There
because
was
they
something the
could.
blue one, which was the Series X controller, wasn't it? The first Series X released.
Yeah, that's right.
Alternate.
Oh, the blue one where everyone has thought that means that they're having a deal with Sega.
Yeah.
It's like Microsoft's going to buy Sega or something.
Oh, I think that'd be a good purchase, personally.
Yeah.
Fuck Nintendo.
Yeah.
We basically
Oh.
get most of the Sega games at the minute.
That forced leaked email that was the Game Pass one. Did you see that today?
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like there's loads of people who are like going, "Oh, there's a hidden mess. There's no hidden messaging in this whatsoever," and it's like, well, you're just like baiting people now, and it's just that Doom is probably going on to Game Pass.
Good.
Oh,
Let,
wow.
let him do it, man. Just be trolled. If you can let yourself
It did.
be
The
trolled
thing
by
that
a
did
Twitter
tickle me
account.
about the whole thing that we've not quite moved on to yet. Actually, no. So I'll switch that subject and we'll come back to that. But what I would like to know from the listeners out there, I think we should put up a poll and see which consoles people bought, because I'm quite interested to see of the people that listen what consoles they bought. So if we can get a poll done,
Okay.
I can do that.
anyone that's listening, feel free to just drop in, say whether you got PS, Xbox, or both. That'd be cool.
Comment on a Twitter postcard.
What
Yep.
have we all got then, or what are we all getting? Because we haven't actually spoken about that, apart from Phil and his £600 thing.
Yeah, Phil's £600 Xbox One X as well. It didn't even get a Series X.
Yeah, it
Xbox
didn't get
One
a
X,
Series.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Bargain.
Yeah, I got the Series X.
So
Okay.
I got a PS5 and then sat in the queue on the game website for 2 hours just for it to fall over and went, fuck it, I give up.
I am going to buckle on the PlayStation eventually though, because we'll move on to it in a bit. But yeah, they've got too many exclusives, so I think I'm going to end up getting both.
PlayStation was great. So I sat there on Thursday. I was off work last week, and I watched Twitter just explode in people trying to get their PlayStation. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait.
Yeah.
About 2:00, I tweeted at Game in Milton Keynes and said, "You got any in?" I was like, I'll just nip into town and see if they got any. Fuck it. Just strolled in, paid me £10 deposit, and strolled out. Literally no fuss whatsoever. It was brilliant. Every single console I've bought on day one, I've had no issues with, because that's literally all I've done. I've waited for them to have them in stock and just gone, I'll just nip in and do it. I'm not arguing with fucking dickheads online. I can't be bothered.
And then there's me, who is still undecided on whether or not he's even going to get a Series X at some point. I mean, I probably will end up getting the Series X, but I really, really, really want to build myself a new PC. But
Don't do it.
after
Do
knowing how expensive my fucking PC is going to end up being, but I still need to wait on, I think, AMD to announce their next processors. There's a couple of other companies still waiting to do their announcements and shit. But when I'm looking at a graphics card that's going to cost more than the fucking the next consoles.
£1,800.
We
Yeah,
heard from Brooker
cash
2 the
rate.
other day that you can get, a PlayStation and an Xbox for less than you get a graphics card.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, I'm a PC gamer, but I'm like a long gone are the days of building one. I'll just buy a powerful laptop and be done with it. Wait till it breaks and buy a new one.
Well, my laptop
Custom
is
builds are just so
more or
expensive.
less powerful enough to run almost most games still. But at the same time, I'm looking at it going, it's still a fucking laptop. This thing kicks out so much heat when I start trying to play almost any game half the
Yeah,
time.
you can't actually put them on your lap, despite
So-
being laptops, because you'll set fire to yourself. Yeah.
So, and I'm just looking at it going, I really like the look of those new 3080s, and at £750 per card.
Nope.
I sent a pre-built PC from Scan, one of their 3X generation ones. It's like a pre-order for the 3080. It's like $2,000, but you do get like a 12-core Ryzen 9 processor with it, and a 3080. But I looked at it, it's like they cheaped out on so many things. Like the motherboard and the power supply was super cheaped out just because of the fucking card and the processor in it. It's like I looked at the motherboard and I looked at it, I was like, I recognize that name. Went and put it through PC Part Picker, and it said that you will need to put a different processor in first to update the BIOS, so that way you can use the new processor, because it won't be compatible.
Otherwise, it's just sitting there and it doesn't even work anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
That
like
sounds like a lot of effort.
they're cheaping out on the motherboards and putting extra labor in by having to stick a different processor in just to update the BIOS first, just to put in the good processor. So they're literally going around and sticking shitty processor that's probably been in like 50 machines beforehand.
Or you can go and buy yourself a new Xbox, get a couple of games included in an absolutely amazing deal, which wasn't a rip-off at all, and just plug it in from day one and play games. Job done.
I think they saw you coming. That was a
Completely,
bundle
mate.
that was only for you.
Completely. I was that angry and desperate by that time. Lee knows, because I was texting him constantly, getting really, really annoyed at all the sites. Every site would kind of let me through to the point of putting in my card details and then crash.
Yeah.
Or then just you click order, it goes, oh, we've run out now. Well, you didn't run out like 2 seconds ago. Oh, just
Yeah, it did seem like a weird,
deep breaths.
like you'd half expect that when you put it in your bag, that it takes one off of the shelf.
But they
And
don't
you get
care.
to keep it in your bag for like 30 minutes, because that's what Game were doing. You had 60 minutes to check out, basically once you got through.
If you could get it to load it all. Though.
So,
Let's be honest,
until the
you
site
got into
crashed.
a queue. So when I got into the game website, I got into a queue that took an hour to allow me to log in.
Yep.
And then once I was logged in, I had an hour to secure any purchases. So I clicked around and couldn't find any of the things. So out of interest, I went onto the All Access page, which stuck me in another hour-long queue. By the time I got to the end of that, the site had fallen over.
Yeah.
I went on the Curry. I think it was the Curry site. That was the first place I tried, and I got on. It's like you know, X number of thousand in the queue. I thought that's all right. It's all right. And I got to the last couple, and then it crashed. I reloaded, and it said you're like 54,000th in the queue. So no, I wasn't. No, I was further ahead than that. I know I was. Someone's done a lot of queue jumping here. And then obviously by the time I got to the front, it sent me an email about an hour and a half later and went, "Oh, you're near the front of the queue. Click this button and you can go and buy one." I thought, "Oh, brilliant." I clicked the button and then it told me, "But we've actually sold out. But we're still keeping the queue running, just in case
That's fucking dicey, ain't it?
you want to get to the front and buy an Xbox S instead."
No, it's in case you get to the front of the queue and then you want to buy yourself a fridge freezer at Curry's.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're interested in. They want to sell you some other stuff.
If I'd waited any longer, there would have been a bundle with a fridge freezer, and I would have bought it.
I'm probably going to rock up at a game store on launch day and just be like, "Yo, have you actually got any that weren't like ordered pre-orders?" And they're going to probably turn around and say, "Yeah, we've got like 50."
With an in-store pre-order, you got 2 days to pick it up, or it goes back into the pool. So literally, all you got to do is turn up on day 3 from the launch.
Yeah. So when is launch? 10th of November, isn't it?
12th. Isn't it 12th? I don't know.
It's different for both, isn't it? So it's the 10th for Xbox.
So it's
And
12th,
the 19th for
12th
PlayStation.
in the US for PlayStation and 19th in the UK for PlayStation. I didn't realise I thought it was the 12th for Xbox as well.
So you can get an Xbox 2 days before you can get a PlayStation in the States, and
when you
10
nip in,
days
when you
before
nip in to get your PlayStation, just ask if anyone's cancelled their pre-orders for the Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to go, well, fuck it. What's the 10th? So it's...
Day after the 9th.
Yeah, obviously.
Just before the 9th.
Trying to work out when's the best day to go in. Be the 13th, probably.
Yeah. Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Turn up. You got any Xboxes in stock? And then they'll turn around and say, "Yeah, we've got loads of the Series S." Nobody wants these.
I'll take 3.
I'll take 3. Plug them together. It's like, and then I'll have a suitable console. Right. So that's the plan, guys. That's the plan.
I will just keep half an eye on the Game Milton Keynes Twitter feed, and one day when I've got nothing to do, I'll randomly see that they've got some in, and I'll just nip in and get in a pre-order.
Yeah,
Good
my
call.
problem. The problem with that is that I can't see Twitter at work.
True, but I also can't get the game from work, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you can. Just leave and go.
I can, however, get in the car, check Twitter, and go, "Oh, they've got some Xboxes in stock," and just like hang a left and nip the game on the way in.
True. So, we all done with like PlayStation and Xbox buying events and pre-orders?
Yeah.
And we get to move on to the big boy news with Microsoft buying Zenimax and announcing a special partnership with Bethesda.
Yeah, big deal. So this is kind of what I was going to brush on earlier, but decided not to. The thing that tickled me about this the most was, there's always those fucking peckers that like to have the console wars.
Oh my god! Have you seen?
And they were all fucking
tweet?
They were all laughing and joking about the Xbox's release schedule and so on and so forth, about not having any massive exclusives. And then they've gone and bought Bethesda, and now they've all just thrown the fucking dummies out. Oh, we think they should all be on all consoles, the usual shit, basically. Oh, it just absolutely fucking pissed my pants.
Yeah, they were proper aggressive on that shit as well, saying that you can't make Elder Scrolls and Fallout exclusives That's awful. And you're just looking at it going, what if PlayStation had done it? What if Sony had bought? Well, if Sony had spent $7.5 billion, you'd be surprised. What if they'd bought Bethesda and gone, yeah, we're going to make all of these games exclusive? All of the fucking fanboys had been like, yeah, check one against Microsoft and Xbox. Go fuck yourselves.
It's a 10 out of 10 move and timing by the minute. Regardless of whether they decide to go exclusive or not, whatever they choose to do right now, that is
announcing the day before
the
pre-orders for their new console went up was genius.
So well played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to them, it's what if they buy one of the biggest games developer and publishing studios going. And I'm not going to pretend that my hatred for Bethesda is like I still know how huge this fucking thing is. But to them, it's all Bethesda games go on Game Pass on whenever they go out and launch, because they don't have many games coming in anytime soon, do they? Apart from the ones that are already going to PlayStation.
So the Microsoft games that are exclusive on PlayStation.
Yeah. So
Microsoft have almost as many exclusives on PlayStation as Sony do.
But that's the thing. They can day one Game Pass any Bethesda or Bethesda published, Bethesda developed game on day one, Game Pass, and then sell it on the PlayStation anyway. So they are making extra money, because there's no point in making some of these games exclusive, because exclusive sell consoles. We've already glossed over the fact that consoles probably don't make any money. If you've got a massive studio making games that people want to buy, you want to sell those fucking games to as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
The software race is what this generation will be. It's not about units sold, it's about games that you've sold. And at this point in time, I mean, Microsoft have already openly said that any game that comes out of the Microsoft Xbox Game Studios is pretty much going on to Game Pass, but it's also going to probably be on PC as well. So that's already essentially doubled the amount of people that are going to buy it by adding the Bethesda games that are now going on to PlayStation and PC and Xbox. They've cornered like an entire chunk of the market of free money, basically, to them.
Well, I think at the same time, everything they would then release onto the PlayStation at the same time, PlayStation player there is sitting there going, I've got to pay for this.
It was free on the Xbox.
It's free on the Xbox.
Or it's if
I could buy a $2,000 graphics card and build my own PC,
and then it will also be free on PC.
Yeah,
but only if they bought. But it's the Xbox All Access players. They're the ones that are really going to fucking profit out of this, because they are spending £17 less on their fucking overall price.
Yeah, over 2 years.
They're
saving themselves £9 a year.
Yep. But they can pay it all up front.
Yeah, I did look into the finer detail of it. They can pay early, and there is no early payment charge. It doesn't really seem to be any downer. The only reason I didn't go with that offer, despite obviously with the exception of ridiculous fucking internet waiting to get onto it, was just that because I frequent the Microsoft rewards piece, I don't often have to buy too many subscription package or monthly subscriptions to Xbox Ultimate, because I can often earn enough points to buy one in just over a month. So
so I'm looking at mine, and mine is sitting at March 2022 is when I have to renew. So every time I upgrade, every time I decide to add more onto it, that just keeps going further and further. I looked into it, and you get a 24-month code. So it's not like you get like a load of month codes that you have to keep activating every month that you pay the bill.
And you couldn't use that either.
I can't use that 24-month code because you're only allowed 3 years. So I need to wait until March. Well, actually, I need to wait until April next year to actually activate that 24-month code. And by then, I'll probably have misplaced it.
100% chance of that.
So unless I literally glue it to the side of my console, it's going to disappear. Or Phil's going to come around and take a picture of it, and then he's got 24-month code.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even know where I live, but that's enough. He would
think.
He would smell it out.
That's probably true also.
Yeah. So yeah, I would. I'm a big fan of Microsoft buying ZeniMax just because
I think it's a cool deal.
it's for $7.5 billion, a lot of money, but at the same time, that's
fucking
a lot
chump change from Microsoft, though, ain't it?
It's not. It's a lot of money for most companies, but
I just considering
what they're going to get out of it overall, like they're going to make $7.5 billion back probably in less than 2 years out of this.
I just want to know what the price would have been before the two complete mess ups.
Before Fallout 76 came out.
Elder Scrolls, back when they were two good games, it would have been worth a lot more.
What?
Probably a whole lot less than it was before Doom came out, because at least Doom did well.
That's true. That's true.
I'd say that it was probably when Fallout 76 first came out, I think that their share price tanked so much that you probably could have bought it for about $5 billion. But the market has really kicked on a lot since then. But prior to 76, I don't know how much it tanked by, because I think it dropped down significantly, but it's still a lot of money. So, but you would only be needing to you're only going to sell it for what people are willing to pay for it. And Microsoft, I don't think ZeniMax were looking at selling.
No.
So that's probably a premium on what it is that they could have been. Because if they weren't looking at selling, they're going to probably try and milk it as much as they could. To be fair, they probably put feelers out to Sony after getting the offer from Microsoft to see if Sony would be interested. So why the fuck would you not? It's like, someone's going to come and buy us anyway. Let's see if we can get some more money out of it. So that's our news, and in a nice and spicy 50 minutes.
That was good.
Exciting times.
Move on to the usual of what we've been playing, and I am going to let Brooker go first.
I can't remember what I've played. What did I put in my list?
Uncharted 3 and Suicide of Rachel Foster.
There you go. I don't need to read it out now, do I?
Yeah. I don't know what Suicide of Rachel Foster is.
It's a game.
I thought Rachel Foster was the girl out of Life is Strange.
Don't you need to be able to finish it to talk about it, though?
Wow, I mean, I don't... So, I tell you what, so John's told people what I'm playing. Would you like to tell the story on my experience with the Suicide of Rachel Foster?
No, I like to hear your sort of tones, bro. You can do it.
Don't even get the chance to tell my story. Fucking hell.
Cool, let's hang up with the call. We're all done tonight.
Okay.
The Suicide of Rachel Foster is a walking simulator. It's a horror-ish mystery walking simulator that owes more than just a little bit to The Shining. It's The Shining.
Okay. You a hotel manager?
Sorry?
Are you a hotel manager?
No.
Oh.
No, you are a woman who is clearing up a hotel ready to sell after inheriting it from her father, who's just died. And there's a whole family history that you have to kind of pick apart. It's very fire. Did you guys play Firewatch?
I've seen videos.
Never got around to it.
So Firewatch is very similar. It's basically you're running around the woods and your only company is somebody on the end of a radio. And the Suicide of Rachel Foster is very much the same. You're running around, you've been snowed into this hotel that you have to find your way around, and your only company is a dude on the end of a phone from FEMA. And you have to turn the boiler on so you can get some hot water. You can You need to turn the backup generator on so you can have some lights and all this kind of shit. And yeah, you have to unpick this mystery about your dad and this girl called Rachel Foster and how and why she died. It's story-wise, it's really, really, really good. Technically, it's utter fucking bollocks. So I played it for about an hour, and I went, okay, I don't think this is going to be very long. I think this is going to take about 3 hours. I'm off next week. I'll stop, and I'll just sit and play it in one go. Done a bit of reading. I was like, I've done a couple of big bits so far, though, so surely there should have been achievements popping. And I looked, and I should have gotten at least 3 achievements by the point I turned it off. So I did a bit of digging, and on Xbox, none of the achievements are popping. So I've done everything in the game, apart from see the end of it. I've done everything in the game, and I've not got a single achievement for it. Not that big a deal. The big deal is when you get to the final scene, and I'm talking 2 minutes away from the credits rolling. You do a thing, and another thing happens, and the game starts generating steam on screen. The process of generating steam overheats my Xbox. And I thought, shit, I done fucked up my Xbox, man. What the hell? So I tried it again, and at the exact same point, it done it again. I pulled the Xbox out of the unit it lives in, and I stuck it on a stool so it's well ventilated. I hoovered it out to make sure I hadn't fucked anything up. No, 2 more times at the exact same spot. I can the Xbox will switch itself off. To a point, and the 5th time I did it, I left it on on this particular screen because it won't do it until you tell the game to do something. So I left the game for 40 minutes just waiting for me to press A, and it was fine. Second I pressed A, went off.
Wow.
So I did a bit of digging, and I found at least 2 other people that have had the exact same problem in the exact same spot. I tweeted at the developers and said, I want to see the end of the game. So I still haven't seen the end credits because I kind of feel like I want to play it. But like I say, I'm literally 2 minutes from the credits. I know exactly what's happening, and I know exactly how it's going to end. But at some point, I would like to actually see it. I don't think I will, though, because the developers seem really quiet. I'm not sure it's ever going to see a patch, which is a shame. Because apart from that, it's an excellent game. I've quite enjoyed the last couple of years, playing the walking simulators that have randomly appeared on Game Pass and on Xbox and PlayStation sales and things. I've really enjoyed them. And I really do recommend The Suicide of Rachel Foster, although if you're, let's say, easily triggered, probably make sure you're in the right frame of mind for it, because as the name gives away, it's not the most pleasant of subjects. It does deal with some dark shit. I recommended it to a friend of mine, and then very quickly messaged him back. I went, actually, maybe not. Maybe leave it. be in a better frame of mind, and then play it. It's dark. But aside from that, it's excellent. I highly recommend it.
For PlayStation players.
For PlayStation players. Or PC. Apparently it's been out on PC for quite a while. So
interesting.
And I played Uncharted 3 in my Odyssey to get through the Uncharted games before I get rid of my PS4.
Cool.
It's tedious.
Yeah, 3. I just thought 3 was just a bit more of the same.
Very much so. It was very.
I did like the story, but
the story was great. But
saying.
Set piece and story beats, it was beat for beat the same as 2. which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I did enjoy it, but I am getting so tremendously sick of the fucking rinse and repeat combat. I dread it. I want to run around and listen to the story and listen to the script, and I don't even mind the platforming, janky as it is, and the puzzles are great, but just the shooting is just so boring. I don't know, there's something about it I'm just not enjoying. No, I was going to tell a little bit of a story, but no, I'll save that for the next time, because it's actually to do with Uncharted 4, so I'll wait. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and it was only a day after finishing that I started Uncharted 4. I've not finished Uncharted 4 yet, though, because I hadn't played that one before, so I'm enjoying it and taking it slow.
Sweet.
And apart from World War Z, I think that's it.
Cool.
And we'll talk about World War Z when everyone else is done.
Have you enjoyed the games that you played aside from the obvious glowing arrows?
Yeah, I did. Uncharted's just, it's like, you get the same feeling sitting down and playing Uncharted as you do sitting down and watching Mission Impossible. It's a popcorn movie. You know, it's junk food for the brain. It's not particularly taxing. It's fun. It's easygoing. There are worse ways to spend 8 hours. Suicide of Rachel Foster is less fun, but good in a different way. And like I say, wholeheartedly recommend it.
Sweet. Lee, you get to
Yes.
go next, my friend.
Okay. So following up from previous weeks, I have finished Marvel Avengers on PS4. Thoroughly enjoyed the story. Matchmaking is fucking practically non-existent. I don't even understand how it is so fucking difficult to find someone to play with. I mean, I imagine it's really easy if you've got people on your friends list that play it. But I haven't seen anyone playing it on PS or Xbox on my friends list, so it looks like I'm solo in it. So you can sit there and wait. I mean, if you go to the sort of the main missions or the hard missions, you can sometimes get someone in. But the problem is the harder missions are clearly set up for you to have more than just your shitty companions with you.
Yeah.
The game doesn't level up your companions when you only level up the character that you're using, which means that to have a successful and effective team on a solo player, you need to level up all 4 characters, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it took me sort of, I think, 4 days or 5 days to level Hulk up to max. So I'd have to do that for 4 characters and then use them all. It's just time consuming is an understatement. I imagine it'd be far better with a group of friends. But it's not that the game's not fun. It is kind of fun, despite the repetition and stuff like that. It's fun to be Hulk, and it's fun to be sort of Black Widow and stuff, you know, and it's fun to be Captain America chucking your shield around. And each of the characters, they do act, and, you know, it's not like they're all just punching away. They've all got their own combos and different styles. So kind of Black Widow and Captain America are very similar to kind of Batman Arkham games in terms of that they can dodge and that, you know, that you move around people and use those sort of moves, and they've got that kind of grounded feel to them. Whereas sort of Hulk's obviously just fucking smash everything. It just lays waste to everything, and he's basically a tank. I've not really used Ms. Marvel too much. She's got a bit of ranged about her, so she's the ability to sort of take a bit of a wider area of things rather than just focusing on one person. So that's kind of handy, I guess, but I've just not used it yet. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed the story. I've not finished the after story yet because one of the missions that I need to do, I need to level up characters to do it. because I cannot get enough people online to do it. And eventually I did find 2 people, and then it fucking crashed in the last bit. Like, not a normal crash either. There was an enemy that was utterly unkillable.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of the. I think they're called stilettos, and they're basically robots that sort of phase in and out of reality. And it was basically just permanently phased out, so you couldn't hit it.
Brilliant.
But it could hit you. And even if you blocked it or parried it, it didn't change its phase. It stayed phased out. So the other 2 guys just dropped out, and then I just got pounded basically and lost. So yeah, but all in all, that was fun. I've also finished Axiom Verge on the Switch. That was brilliant. Cool. For anyone who likes Metroidvanias, that was really, really good. The story is just fucking bonkers, and the ending just as much so. I still don't. There was a lot of reading to do. I missed a lot of it because you have to put in passwords so that you can read some of the foreign writing, and I didn't have the password, and I could never figure out where to find it. So I think I missed some of the text writing, but I love the game. I mean, you did have to backtrack a lot over every area to get all the things, but it was a lot of fun, and it's slick as well. So I'm looking forward to the second game. I'm still playing Battletoads, which is brilliant. I take it sort of a level a day, give or take. So I think I'm on like the 7th level now, 7th or 8th level. But that is a lot of fun. I bought Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remastered. That's kind of like Hitman is for you, so it's kind of just to pick up and play quick. Sort of just have a quick couple of runs on a map and then turn it off again.
Yeah.
You know, just while I'm waiting for the PlayStation to download an update or something like that. It's just one of those sort of games. So it's not something that I would play for hours on end. It is really good for multiplayer. It was always good for multiplayer because anyone can play it, even if you're shit. There's still game types you can play. Obviously, it doesn't account for everybody. Like Phil's at a level that he's so bad he can't even play the beginner level games.
It's awful.
Wow.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there are game modes that you can play, even if like you're playing with someone who's really good. There's still one, like Graffiti is really easy to play for everybody because all you need to do is pop a trick on everything, and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, that's always a good fun game, and they've done a cracking job with it. To be fair, I wasn't expecting it to be so crisp, almost like, you know, I was expecting it to just be like a reskinned version of the original. But it's clearly been built ground up.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Tony Hawk's a bit precious over what his name's attached to, and I don't think he'd appreciate a game coming out if it wasn't like sufficient.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know. I played some of the later Tony Hawk's games, man. They were fucking awful.
And the one that you got the board with was fucking abysmal as well.
Yeah, but he obviously thought it was a good idea. That board.
Obviously.
What was the one before the one with the board? The
American Wasteland.
Was that the one before the board?
I think so.
I don't know what came before Ride. I know that
the one you got to get the like the 7 best skaters or something. It had this whole convoluted story mode that was utter wank.
Yeah, I think that was American Wasteland.
Was it?
I think that was the one that also introduced no loading times between areas.
No loading times between areolas. Check.
Areolas.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing for the most part, but I'm going to move on to what I have utterly fallen in love with. And that's Hades. So I picked up Hades on the Switch, which is it's the fourth title released by Supergiant Games. Obviously, anyone that's listened to me before will know that I'm a big fan of all of the games they've released so far. Hades is a sort of top-down roguelike dungeon crawler, and kind of plays like a cross between Transistor and Dead Cells, in that there's loads and loads of different equipment. So you have 5 or 6 main moves that you can do with your weapons and your special abilities, and then everything you pick up changes how they interact with each other, with you, with the characters, with the enemies, with sort of boons and specials and all this other stuff. It just, everything works differently, and honest to God, I have not had a single run where they've even been close to each other. It is slick as fuck. I can't begin to tell you how good that game is. And what tops it off as well is the phenomenal music and voice work. Characters know that you've died and come back through again, and the story changes constantly throughout every run of the game. It's not just like you do one run and that's it, and then you keep going and keep going and keep going till you're finished. It's they all know you've been going through this run over and over and over again, and it's fucking brilliant. It's so well done. I've not finished it yet. I did have a quick look online today to see just how close I was. Turns out I have actually died on the last boss-ish kind of thing twice now, so I'm not too far away from getting my first run clear. Nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. Most people roll it in somewhere between 30 and 40 runs of the game, sort of the deaths, 30 and 40 deaths, before they actually finish it for the first time. So I'm not sure what I'm on at the moment. I think I'm on about 26. So I'm not too bad. Although the last boss gave me a fucking, what I presume is the last boss, gave me a fucking pasting last time. So I'm not beating him anytime soon. There's fucking 2 of them. Which sucks. But, you know, on this last map, you can bump into one of the last bosses of the game halfway through the map, and you could give him a beat in there, and then when you bump into him later at the end, he's only got whatever health you left him on before he fucking did one. So there's little quirks like that in it as well, which I really like.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's me. Everyone, you're probably going to miss the sale. Hades is actually on sale at the moment. If you guys decide to buy it, it's on sale $17.99 on Switch, and I can't remember how much it is on PC. But
I know it's a damn good price. It's still too expensive for me.
Yeah. Well, they've sold over 1 million copies now. That includes their early access piece.
Yeah.
So I think they're classing that as a success. I suppose it is. It depends what you look at. It is £15.59 on PC on Steam, or 20 quid with the soundtrack.
Nice.
Or you can buy every game with every soundtrack for £72.
No.
Nope.
I think I bought Bastion and Transistor for like 4 or 5 quid each or something.
Yeah, worth every penny as well.
I've not gone back to Transistor yet. It didn't grab me the way Bastion did. I might need to start again now. It's been so long. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Bastion, but I will not pay that kind of money for that kind of game.
Oh yeah, so, I can't blame you. Obviously, because I'm a fan, I'll buy it. So it's, it's fine. I appreciate that not everybody's into that shit.
But this is it. So it's like, I know, most people I know that play video games can't justify the £16 price tag for a walking simulator. I could justify that when I bought Rachel Foster, because it's the kind of game I play and it's the kind of game I love playing. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So that's what I've been playing. I'm itching to just have one more run on Hades, and that is pretty much a constant feeling at the minute. So that's a sign of a good game for me.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Excelente. Philip.
So I'm gonna start with Tony Hawk's. Obviously, I'm pretty good at it, as Lee just said.
Amazing.
That's how I remembered it when I was a kid. I used to play it.
He did score a couple of horse points against me by doing like
An ollie.
an ollie.
Yeah, and then falling off. Yeah.
No, because you don't get points for ollie, so he'd do like a kick flip for 50 points or something, and then I bailed on 178,000.
So I remember it being a really good game, and it's one of the few games that me and the wife or girlfriend at the time, as she was, used to play and used to enjoy both playing. So I thought, yeah, I saw it remaster. I was so excited. I thought I'd download that. I think it was last time I was on was just when they sort of announced it, and I was really excited. I bought it straight away, no hesitation. And I played it with the missus. I thought this is really good. I was a bit disappointed by the soundtrack because I think they kept the original songs in, but they've chucked in some new ones, and I kind of wish they hadn't because the original soundtrack was it couldn't be improved.
Yeah, but you can stop them from playing.
Yeah, you can.
It doesn't take long.
But
some of them are really good as well, to be fair.
But yeah, generally a really good game until I played Lee, and now I'm never ever going to play it again because he ruined it. So that was a waste of money, really. And then the other games I've been playing is next one's Wasteland 3. So for those that don't know, it's kind of the Wasteland's the precursor to Fallout. It's where all the ideas of Fallout came from, and they've just released a new one, which I was super excited about when they announced it. In terms of the gameplay, it's everything I'd hoped for. It's brilliant. It's got all kinds of random storylines in it. Really good game. It's got mouthy and aggressive parrots that can become your companions and follow you around. It's got guns that shoot frozen ferrets at people. It's got baddies that are insane clown dentists and all this kind of wonderfully crazy world that they've created. The downside is it's so glitchy. It's incredibly bad. And looking on the internet, I think it's more the Xbox. I got on the Xbox. It seems to be the Xbox rather than the PC, and they just don't seem to be spending quite the same amount of time fixing stuff. So it crashes kind of every night when I play it. It'll probably crash a couple of times. Stats on my characters will completely clear, and then they'll be completely useless after reload. Or you get someone to run and hide behind cover, and instead of hiding behind cover, they'll just kind of stand up, hide, and keep doing that for like half an hour. And then weapons randomly suddenly like quadrupling or halving in power between shots and stuff like that. So it's very buggy. But in terms of a game, I think once they've ironed out those problems, it's one that's worth playing. It's absolutely brilliant, and the writing in between the kind of conversations between the characters is really good. So I'm dead chuffed at that. It's one of those games which you play and you don't realise what time it is, and suddenly realise you're meant to go to sleep 2 hours ago, and it's nearly work time. So that's good. The other one would be Crusader Kings 3. So that is everything I'd hoped it would be. Absolutely love that game. I played the Crusader Kings 2 and I absolutely loved it, and everything that's come out of Paradox I think is nearly always good. They get a lot of kind of negativity because they constantly release DLC, but it's always good DLC, and it always comes with loads of free upgrades, and Crusader Kings 3 is another, in my eyes, absolute winner.
Did Paradox do that snow one? What the fucking hell was that called?
Snow one.
Oh shit! They were like Xbox games, and there was 2 of them, and they were like enemies that had red glowing things.
Lost Planet,
yeah. Did they do that?
That wasn't it, was it?
I don't know. I thought that was Paradox. I might be thinking about it wrong.
Paradox do so. They've done like Crusader Kings. They did Stellaris.
Didn't they make City Skylines?
City Skylines. I think they were involved in the original Mount and Blade, I think, as well.
Okay.
So they've got kind of a history of getting a really good title and just constantly improving it. And it's reselling, like I say, they sell DLC for a ridiculous number of years, but they keep patching and improving the games. But yes, Crusader Kings, if you don't know it, is a game where you kind of you're set in the medieval times, and you choose a a person to be, whether that be kind of a duke from France or a chief in Africa or a king in Scotland, and you kind of look after your little dynasty of families, and you go through generations trying to expand your empire. But it's all around the story of the characters that you're playing and the kind of interactions around it. And they've done an absolutely amazing job. They've taken kind of all the good stuff of the last one, improved it, made it more accessible for new players. I remember when I first played it, and it was kind of hard to get into. Once you worked out how it worked, it was a really good game. Whereas Crusader Kings 3 has got a lot more kind of instructions and tutorials as to how everything works. But absolutely brilliant game, and one of those that you can be playing that for hours and hours and hours, and it's just eating away at your day without realising. 10 out of 10. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
10 out of, it's not really a 10 out of 10. There's only one game that's a 10 out of 10. That was Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it's pretty good.
You would give that a 10 out of 10?
I'd give that a 10 out of 10.
But it's not even a full game.
It was a beautiful game. And
it was still a full game.
It's not a full game.
It was beautiful, that game.
It was still 50 odd hours, mate. That's still a full game.
It took me like 4 months to complete. It was good.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, that was me. That's it. All good.
Awesome.
Cool.
I can't say that I'll be playing either of those, if I'm honest.
I would expect nothing
I will
less.
play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with you again, though, if you like.
I will not.
Nice.
Never again.
I will follow up by saying that the game that I played... Well, actually, I've got 2 games that I played because I remembered I played something else. I played Neon Abyss briefly, which is Metroidvania. It was on Game Pass. I'm assuming Lee's played it.
It is on Game Pass. Yeah, I'm still playing it on and off. It's all right, actually. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Talk about it a few episodes ago. Sure, he did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the controls throw me off though, because jump is the left trigger,
and it's stick shooting.
Yeah,
Jump's
it's
left
a
trigger,
bit odd.
And it's like, isn't like throw a grenade like X or something stupid?
Yeah, and I press it all the fucking time.
Yeah,
and you don't get many of them.
No, you don't. But I did get my achievement for killing myself with the grenade by accident.
I think I got that too. Like straight away as soon as I got it.
I was like, well, I was just pushing buttons. I couldn't work out what a button to do was, and I was trying to remember what it was. Ended up hitting X, threw a grenade, it bounced off the wall and blew me up. And I was like, well, there's that one.
Oh yeah, I liked it, but do you kind of feel that there's just way too many power-ups? Because
yes, 100%.
The runs for me were just all over the place.
Well, that's the thing, is that it's a game that's kind of designed to make you fail, and then slowly level up your character as you're failing, so you can get further in your runs. But at the same time, it gives you codes every time you fail out, and it's like, oh, I really like that combination of power ups, so I'll remember that code, input the code, and then you find out that you don't complete any challenges, and you don't get achievements if you do that.
No, you don't. You have to do a random run every time.
You have to do a random run every time, and it just felt a little, because I found a really cool laser gun, just shot beams.
Yeah.
But it was like a weird, every third shot was like a rapid fire, like shotgun style. Like it was shooting a beam that was also a scatter at the same time. So,
yeah, I found plenty of cool shit, but the thing that gets me is just that it takes too long to actually level, and the things to get the items to level you up for each run. Because that's the whole point of Metroid, or those roguelike games, is that you get more powerful as the longer you play. But that's not the case with that game. No, I don't seem to be getting any stronger.
I didn't feel like I was getting any better at the game as I was playing it. I just felt like I was more accustomed to some of the bullshit that was coming along with some of the random enemies that were attacking you. But it did feel like, especially when it was saying things like, in order to open this, you need to have like 3 gems, but to find gems seemed completely at random, and same with finding keys, or it coming along and saying you need to have more keys in order to open this box, and you look at the box and think, I know there's a key over here, so I could go pick it up and come back and open this crate, but do I want to? Because
there is some fucking utterly ridiculous achievements on it as well.
Yeah.
Like finishing a run, bearing in mind I've not fucking done that yet. finishing a run without losing any hearts. I'll get
Yep.
fucked. Are you taking a piss?
Yeah, and I only picked it up to play it because I thought, oh, this will be an easy game. 3 achievements for weekly, was it this monthly's Game Pass challenge?
I don't know.
It's like
I didn't
just
do it.
grabbing 3 achievements, and I got one by accident by killing myself with a grenade, which actually pops 2 because you get 1 for dying for the first time as well.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at trying to find which one would be easy to get the 3rd one, and I actually got to a point where I was looking at it going, these are all really fucking obscure and difficult to do, like complete a run without taking any damage, or well, there's actually one for dying like 99 times.
Yeah. Well, do yourself a favour, mate. If you want to play a real roguelike, turn that fucker off and buy Hades.
I'm not in the mood to. I don't like to buy some like games.
No,
like,
no.
like
I'm
this.
only messing.
If
Like
it
Neon Abyss
jumps
is
up on
okay,
Game
but it's
Pass, it'd be
not.
amazing.
It's not stellar. It's just sort of. It's very average. It's
I can't
all right
imagine
if you want
turning
to.
it back on again.
Well, I might. I pop on and do sort because one run you can knock a run out until you're dead in sort of 20 minutes. So it's good for that dropping in and out. But now I've got like better games, I won't do it as often. So it's probably going to go down the pack pretty quick.
And I've thrown on and played a couple of other random Xbox Game Pass Quest games. Like I can't even remember some of their names, but they're literally just on. Play it until I've completed the objective that it is, or got the achievements, or just. I think I played Enter the Gungeon. Don't ever play Enter the Gungeon.
Don't. Yeah,
that's
played.
I had no intention of ever playing Enter the Gungeon.
I had to open 10 doors or something, didn't we, for that one? And it was fucking pants. It's point and click, so I'm surprised that Phil's don't want to play because I thought you liked point and click.
I played it and it was just dire. So dull.
It felt everything that you could possibly not want in a game.
Yeah.
Like right at the start, it's like you can pick 2 characters to play with. Oh, that sounds great. What's the controls like? Oh, you need to press left trigger or right trigger to flick between the characters and move them to the rooms that you're aiming at. Oh, okay. And then loads of random enemies appear. And then, I opened my 10 doors and just turned it off.
Poor.
It was pretty pathetic. And
you guys installing and playing games that you don't want to play just for Microsoft reward points.
I'm not saying it's games that I don't want to play. It's games I've not heard of, and I'm giving them a chance just so I can see what it's like.
Right.
And some of them are turning around to be fucking atrocious, and others are actually kind of fun. Like Battletoads. Wouldn't have downloaded Battletoads if it wasn't for the fact that it was on the list of rewards games. And I still have Battletoads installed, and I'm trying to do a level every so often, but they are fucking hard.
But I mean, I've downloaded so many games on Game Pass, which they don't look like my sort of game, and that was the same. But you got, because it's free, you want to give it a go, don't you? You might as well see what they're like. But
I'm paying this amount of money for Game Pass Ultimate. I might as well try some of the stuff that they're throwing at me for free.
So, do you want some tips for Battletoads?
Okay.
Make sure you're changing your toads.
Yeah.
I literally do a combo and then change. Combo change. Constant.
Okay, because I was kind of doing I was kind of like trying to flick through areas, going, "Oh, I know these enemies. They're pretty useful if I'm using this character."
No. Just combo. So 3 or 4 X's and Y, and then press your D-pad for one of your others, and then do the same again. And just make sure you keep dodging. That's a piece of piss, that game. I don't know why you're having so much trouble with it.
Because I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, that's the easiest way to get an S rank on everything as well. I figured if you don't switch, you can get an S rank, but it's a lot harder.
Okay. And a game that I'd not kind of had on my radar whatsoever up until like 2 days before it came out, which was Crusaders King 3.
Yeah.
And I literally installed that onto my laptop before I went away. and I played that almost religiously while I was up on the Gilfing holiday.
Dilfing.
I thought it was.
You
guys
thought it was Dilfing, and then you were Gilfing, and then you were
Gilfing.
doing the glory holes.
Yeah, you guys need to make your mind up on what it was that I was doing up in the north.
You were Dilfing Gilfs in glory holes.
I played a fair amount of Crusader Kings, where I was trying to take over Ireland.
It's a pretty small place.
It is a pretty small place, but it's surprisingly difficult because you get like fuck all money for when you're in Ireland, because there's like fuck all money to make in Ireland back in like 1066 or now.
You saw I was going to go there.
But it is a lot of fun to play. I'll give it that. But I kind of feel like I was having more fun playing with my run through Ireland than I was when I decided to pick one of the many other options of things to play, where you get money faster and you earn more money, because it just kind of felt like I was too invested into my Ireland story. But I watched someone on Twitch playing it because I got bored once and had nothing else to do. And he was basically creating a dynasty of the Empire of Cornwall.
Yeah.
And he was literally just trying to take over the entirety of Europe using nothing but from Cornwall.
It is far better. I mean, I've only played, I think it's a tribe in Africa is what I started up this time. But if it's the same, and I think it is the same as the previous games, it's one of those games a bit like Football Manager. You can start off on a really, really powerful place where you're getting buckets of stuff, and it's not that interesting. Whereas if you start as a nobody in the middle of nowhere, and then you work your way up to that, the challenge and the story and the characters and the kind of connection you make to everything around it is so much better.
I need to learn more about it in order to get more enjoyment out of it.
I mean,
but it is a huge time sink.
Oh, massively. And the difference between playing like I said, the different natures, the different cultures, and everything else, and the different ways in which you can approach it, whether you focus on the military side or religious or whatever else, it's almost a different game each time. So you enjoyed it the first time, but then actually when you go back and you play it again, but as a completely different culture, you take a different approach to it. You get a different game out of it. It's more of a story generator than it is a strategy game.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've done, because I didn't realise that you needed to enable Iron Man mode and a couple other things to get achievements out of it. So I actually took like 2 or 3 attempts at running through trying to do this island thing before realising, hang on a sec, I'm getting no achievements popping out of this. Did a bit of digging, found out that Iron Man mode was a thing. Had to enable that, started doing a couple of other things, tried being French for a bit. That wasn't very enjoyable. I did Anglo-Saxon invasion story. Tried to be the King of Scotland as well. Went back to being Ireland, and I've uninstalled it because I needed to make some space on my laptop. So I'll probably put it back on again at some point once I've finished with a couple of other games that I've got going.
That's why you need to build yourself a new PC like we were talking about earlier, you see. You won't have to install it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I've only got 250 gig NVMe memory and a 1 terabyte mechanical drive in the laptop. So
more space.
Need that more space, yeah. So and then aside from that, we played a couple of games of Rocket League where Phil was fucking atrocious.
I think I didn't lose a single game, didn't I?
No, you definitely lost one because I won 2, you won 2, Lee won none. However,
how many did Lee win?
Lee won none. However, I would like to point out that in the game that Lee should have won based on the previous stats, you completely changed the rules by adding power-ups. And the stats themselves showed that everyone who won, whilst you were on the team, won in spite of you being on the team.
That's not quite true.
Because the AI scored 3 goals when you were with the AI, compared to me and Lee both scoring twice each, I think.
I think
when I played with Phil, he actively stopped my goals going in about 3 times.
I think he scored an own goal as well.
Yeah, and he scored an own goal.
I think you'll find when I played with the AI, I've got a screenshot which I sent to you all in celebration showing I scored 2 goals of the 4 that we scored.
Okay. So you scored 2 goals in that one game, and that was the only time you scored, I'm pretty sure, and across the whole thing.
No, I think I scored an own goal, didn't I, at some point?
Yeah, but that doesn't really count.
What counts?
The goal is to not score an own goal. But aside from us playing a little Rocket League after Brooker went to bed last night, we played as a group World War Z to completion, and I'll let Brooker, because it was his month selection game.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at Xbox stuff.
I thought you were asleep.
This time. I could hear you snoring.
I was not snoring. Not at all. Well, yeah, so we played World War Z a couple of months ago. The last time it was my turn to choose the game, and I got frustrated at the fact we only got halfway through the game before our 2 sessions for the month were done. And obviously, we easily could have found a couple more hours to keep playing, but we just kind of didn't. And last month when we were talking, I was like, well, let's just finish World War Z. Why not? Because it was kind of fun. So we finished World War Z. I mean, there's not much else to say about it. It's the same World War Z it was when we were playing it 3 months ago.
I found it a lot easier this time around.
Didn't feel it on that first fucking mission.
Well, yeah, that caught us off guard, but it definitely felt easier in terms of we knew what our abilities did, we knew how to play it, so it wasn't quite as difficult. But obviously we were further in the game, so you get swamped a little bit more.
Yeah.
But all in all, I thought it was a pretty easy run, really, because we only wiped once, didn't we?
Yeah.
We only wiped once total, and that was entirely Phil's fault.
We still had
that was Phil's fault, unsurprisingly. Feels like the new Dunny.
More slander. I took down an entire zombie horde with a chainsaw.
No, you didn't.
And just because I died and let them over the fence, it's all my fault. I mean, it's just, it was kind of my fault. Yeah, a little bit.
What's fun, though?
Yeah, I had the chainsaw in the final round, which obviously meant it got used properly.
You didn't use it. You just wouldn't let me have it because you knew I was wrong.
I was using it while the other guys were using like the mortar or the machine guns and stuff. I just kept the zombies off them with the chainsaw.
We still had it on quite an easy setting though, didn't we? I mean,
we had it on easy with.
It was fairly intense at times, even like that though, wasn't it? I mean, I think it's one of those games which you could whack up the difficulty and you could spend a lot more time getting through it. And I remember from the first time we played it, when we did die a few more times, the replayability of each time you kind of had to redo a mission, it went a slightly different way. So I don't know if I will ever play it again, but at the same time, I could understand why people would.
Yeah, how does it differ on it on difficulty levels though? Because I imagine that you can't. Did the zombies get harder to kill, or that'd be stupid?
The zombies don't get harder to kill, but they deal more damage to you.
Yeah, I figured you'd get more squishy.
Your damage to each other in friendly fire is increased.
We'll be screwed.
You don't start with health packs unless your character is designed to start with a health pack at the higher difficulties.
The thing for me, obviously those missions aren't particularly long, but they can be, a bit frustrating to get through. Especially like that first one that we got our asses handed to last night. We died right at the end of it, and then had to play through the entire fucking mission again. I think if you upped the difficulty and made that harder, I think it would be just an abject lesson in frustration.
Yeah.
The actual battles and that wouldn't be too bad, and if it was checkpointed, it wouldn't bother me quite so much. But having to replay the entire mission every time I got my ass handed to me.
The mission changes as well.
Yeah. I think that would be frustrating to a point where I wouldn't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, add on some of those modifiers as well. I mean, look at the Nemesis one where it's literally there's a bull permanently chasing you that it's unkillable.
Yeah, fuck that.
That drives me mad.
Well, I think that if you are forced to replay it after losing, you should get the same set. Although I kind of like the fact that it changes too.
No,
But I think if you not on the easy difficulty, because it worked out fine that we would change sets. But if you were on a harder difficulty, you'd want to sort of make a plan and not have to think on your feet quite so much. I think.
But I like that about it. I like the fact that you kept it interesting when you So we only did it once this time, but when you did die, I remember the last time around the fact that it was that little bit different. I remember the first time it happened and we'd all set up perfectly for something and something different happened and caught us completely off guard.
They all came in from like a different side of the area that we were defending from. Oh, shit.
I think like you say. I think if you could have it checkpoint, so when you lost one of the the big battles, you only went back to the start of that battle.
Yeah.
Then I'd totally want to play it on a harder difficulty.
Absolutely, but to have to fight your way through a harder difficulty mission
all
the way through just to get your ass battered at the end again, nah. To be honest, when we turned it off last night, I uninstalled it straight away. I don't think I'll ever play it again. It was fun, but it's not a game I'd ever play on my own.
No.
It's not fun to play on your own. I know I've done it, but it's really fun to play with friends. And to be fair, all of the missions that we've done, we played for the first time each time. Going back and playing through them again, it's not so bad playing through them on a harder difficulty because you know that level a bit better.
Yeah.
So I've done all of the mission on the second difficulty. And I think I've done most of New York on difficulty 3. But I can't do one of the missions. Which mission was it on? No, I think it was in Jerusalem. It's the last mission in Jerusalem. I could not fucking do it for love nor money. Because you trying to defend the helicopter at the end is just constant hordes and walls of zombies, and it's just not fun to do.
Yeah.
On harder difficulties. It's hard enough to do on normal and easy. But when you start putting the difficulties higher up, you've got like no defenses whatsoever. And it's just a wall of zombies in one location, a wall of zombies in another location. And you only get like 30 seconds if the zombies come up, 30 seconds to clear them off of the helicopter. Yeah. And completely clear them off the helicopter so there's none left. Oh, and the train in New York. When you have to clear basically once the train's into that main area, you then sneak all the way around, and then you have to fight another horde of zombies waiting for the door to open on the other side, and you have to clear that. Yeah, it's the same principle there, where you don't really have enough time to clear the zombies off of the side of the train as they're attacking the driver.
Nice.
So it is a complete ball ache if you don't have people talking about what it is that needs to go on and doing the game. And it's even fucking harder when you're playing with Dunny.
I can well imagine.
Yeah. So, whose month's next month?
I just need to go and do you're next, mate. You've got October.
Interesting. I'm not picking Destiny 2, don't worry.
I'm not worried. Why would I be worried?
Pick Destiny 2 then. Do it.
Because Destiny 2's 2 expansions, well, all of Destiny 2 up until this point is available on Game Pass right now. Just before they vault all of it off and Beyond Light comes around November.
I mean, if you want to play it, that's great. I will not be playing anything in preparation for it, so you'll have to deal with me as a low-level grunt.
Sounds perfect. We'll send you up front.
Yeah, but it's more of I need to take another look properly to see what there is, because I don't want to pick Destiny, because I've played it enough in the past.
Yeah, we've played that plenty, haven't we?
And me and Lee probably will end up playing it just...
in the next week or so, I hope.
Yeah, at some point, probably this weekend, but maybe.
I might take the week off the next podcast and you two can do it together.
I'm not going to be playing that much of it.
Just want to finish through the 2 DLCs.
Yeah, just want to finish the new DLCs that we've not bothered paying. Well, I've not bothered paying for.
Yeah, it's important to play the game before it goes free on, and the next year's version of it goes up. So, yeah, need to take a look. And I think that's mostly done.
Cool.
Unless anyone else can think of anything else that needs saying, because we are hitting that almost 2-hour mark now.
Great.
Nothing else to say. Thank you for listening.
So that's us.
And answer my or our poll when I put it up on Twitter. Tell us what
Yeah, good shout.
What
yeah, we want to
us.
know.
We're interested in what you guys are doing, especially Paddy and all of our other friends.
Paddy, I believe, is getting a PS5 a little bit later.
Yeah, I thought it'd go PS.
Well, he's got a gaming rig, so all the games he wants to play on Xbox are on PC. We were talking about this the other day because the big game, the one game that I'm desperate to play on Series X is the Medium.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the moment it's only going to be out on Xbox and PC, and I want to play it when it comes out. So that will be the machine. That will be the game that I buy the Series X for. But he doesn't need to. He's got a PC.
Yep.
And he does a lot of his gaming on PC. So
that game's going to look amazing.
it is.
And it's going to run so well because of the extra power.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Up until our next episode, where can people find you, Brooks?
I am on Twitter at Brooker411.
Lee?
I am Pyro Loveridge almost everywhere.
Cool. Other
Where
person?
are you not Pyro Loveridge?
I'm sure there's somewhere.
Shop 2. Oh, no, wait.
Find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the Shop 2 news forum.
Do they even still run that shit?
No.
I
That
can't remember
died
last
a
time I even
fucking
went.
death.
Wow. I wonder if they've got any consoles left.
I don't
Well, obviously, I'm not Pyro Loveridge on Facebook.
Are you not?
No.
You're not even Pyro Loveridge on Skype or in our WhatsApp group. I'm disappointed.
Sorry, bro.
I mean, I'm well aware
stuff
that
only.
it's not Pyro Loveridge in the WhatsApp group because it picks your name from my phone book. So
Is it Cuntbags McFuckface?
No, it's actually Lee Love Rage.
I do love Rage.
So yeah, and Philip, what are you going to delight us with now?
Well, you can find me on Xbox as Ice Power. You can find me hiding outside John's new house, waiting for him to move in. That's about it.
As Pyro Loveridge.
That's Pyro Loveridge. Pyro Loveridge everywhere else. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Nothing else to delight you with today.
Cool. And I'm hoping that Phil never comes back.
That's all lies. I got an email a couple of weeks ago, just for the listeners, that from John specifically begging me to come back. Lee and Brooker were against it; they didn't want me here, but John was just desperate. And I at first I said no, but then he sent me a lovely little video of him nearly in tears because I'd said no.
I have seen said video, and it was heartwarming.
It was,
I'm glad you come back for John's sake.
I did, yeah.
See, now this is slander, and I will see you in court. I am the John_CU on Twitter and on Xbox Live as Long Dong Silver. But if you don't like us as individuals, because I certainly don't, and you only care about us as a group, which again I don't, then check out the Character Unlock podcast as you're listening to right now, and the Character Unlock Twitter feed, and the Character Unlock Facebook feed, and just kind of chill out and ask us random questions if you want, or take part in our polls, because we're going to do one, especially that one. Take part in our polls. That just leaves us with everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye, Hades.